Fake kits before kickoff, wearing the simulacrum, counterfeit jerseys, and the World Cup economy. My name is Dr. Mark Joseph O'Connell, and I want to talk to you about some fake football jerseys. And these are not just cheap knockoffs. They are, in fact, evidence of a global shadow fashion economy. Before Toronto hosts its first FIFA World Cup match, police say they have already found another World Cup economy, which is moving in the shadows. In May 2026, Toronto police seized more than 16,000 fraudulent jerseys and flags, along with 2 counterfeit FIFA World Cup trophies. The merchandise allegedly copied major names, including FIFA, Nike, Adidas, and Puma. Police valued the haul at more than $3.5 million and called it the largest known seizure of counterfeit soccer jerseys in Canadian history. But here's the kicker. This is not just a story about fake shirts. It is a story about demand for these fakes. A legitimate Canada jersey can cost roughly $135, with a custom jersey for $264.99. I like the very cool windbreakers going for around $210 before tax. For one fan, that may be a manageable investment. For a family, it becomes a financial burden. That gives you a strong price contrast against counterfeit sellers who understand the quandary of the family perfectly. They step into that gap that opens up between pride and price point. They will often market the fake kits as discounted, game day special, or official at prices far below legitimate retail. Why Toronto? Toronto is hosting 6 World Cup matches. It is also one of the most multicultural football cities in the world. That means demand is not just for Canada jerseys. It is for Portugal, Croatia, Ghana, Germany, Argentina, and every country carried through family memory and migration. A jersey in this context is not only an article of clothing. It is part of the fashion economy of identity, civic pride. And also, the designs look really good this time around, so they become a highly desirable fashion item for anybody. Counterfeit jerseys, however, are not harmless. They can deceive consumers, undercut legitimate retailers, evade taxes and licensing fees, and move through supply chains linked internationally to organized crime, labor exploitation, and corruption. How do they even get here, though? So often, they come here through ordinary trade routes, like courier shipments, postal parcels, online sellers, freight forwarders, and informal import networks. The OECD and the EUIPO found that shipments with fewer than 10 items made up 79% of customs seizures in one recent data set. So, the counterfeit fashion economy does not always arrive in a massive container. Sometimes it arrives in just one little parcel at a time. A fake jersey may look like a little lie, but when investigators follow the supply chain, it becomes something larger. A test of Canada's borders, consumer protections, trademark laws, and tolerance for an underground economy that knows exactly how to follow consumer desire. You also don't know what these fake jerseys are made of. Health Canada specifically warns that counterfeit clothing may pose health concerns from hazardous chemicals and heavy metals. Authentic goods are made to exacting standards. With a fake garment, who knows what kind of textiles and chemical treatment is nestled up against your skin, and your exodermis is a sensitive and porous organism. So, a jersey is supposed to show your pride in who you stand with. A kind of counterfeit jersey, that poses sort of a more complicated question. Who is actually standing behind you when you are wearing it? This research comes from my article, Fake Kits Before Kickoff, Wearing the Simulacrum, Counterfeit Jerseys, and the World Cup Economy, which is up on my ResearchGate. I am Dr. Mark Joseph O'Connell, Professor of Fashion Studies, and I am the author of Canadian Fashion Economies from Bloomsbury.